So recently I completely overhauled the way I keep my Dubia roaches because I have too many. I literally have, like, I couldn't even estimate. It's like 1,000, okay? Well over. It's too many. And so I've been selling off parts of the colony since cleaning it, fortunately, to try and get the numbers down. It's still too many. I wanted to find an easier way to keep them so that it'd be easier to clean the enclosure. I tried a couple different methods I'll go over in this video, and I'll also talk about how to feed them, how to care for them, how to breed them. This is an all-inclusive video all about Dubia roaches. So if that's something you're interested in, you know, keep watching. Before we get into today's video, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell just so that you can be alerted when I post new videos. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. To start out setting up your Dubia roach colony, you're going to want to get a clear plastic bin like this, and you're going to want to get another one that's the exact same size, like the exact same brand, exact same size, so that you can set it inside this one. So this setup is self-cleaning, so that's what I find a lot of success with, because cleaning Dubia roach colonies is no fun unless you are making it easier. I mean, it's no fun ever, but making it easier is definitely more enjoyable and faster. So I have this bin, and then I lay down these little paper towels. This is just for some absorbency and also for ease of cleaning later, because, well, I'll show you how the poops fall through. But when the poops fall through, then you can just slowly roll this up and then dump it in the trash like this. Oh, it's kind of buried, but it's that nasty yellow thing right down here. There we go. That guy right there. But yeah, so it's super easy to clean, and that's because it's a self-cleaning bin. So I'm gonna put my bin inside of this one with my roaches in it and show you how it works. So I actually just cleaned this bin, and that's why there's some dubias in here. Otherwise I would show you a fresh bin, but I don't have one. So originally I started out by drilling like a bazillion 1/9 inch drill bit holes all over the place to hope that the poops would fall through this bin into this lower bin that has the paper towel in it, and it didn't. It only got like 30% of the poops. So then I was like, nope, that's not happening for me. We're trying mesh. So I cut out the entire bottom of the bin and I put mesh all around. So this bin has mesh like pulled up onto the sides, and it's taped all around. And this is my first cleaning with this design, and I made a mistake, so I'm glad that I waited to show you guys, because I must not have taped enough. The tape came loose, as you can see where these little poops are right there. The tape like fell off right there, and all the dubia started falling out. So I kicked the bin out of the way, I used this to catch some of them, and then I dumped the rest in here. So it was quite a disaster, but thankfully it's all over with, and I have added multiple layers of tape around the entire thing. So I recommend doing that, and I recommend using a tape that's super sticky and that won't be loosened by moisture. So basically I am using aluminum foil tape because I had a bunch extra since I set up my gecko bookshelves. Shout out to my gecko bookshelf. But I had a bunch extra, so that's what I used. It's super sticky and it doesn't really get affected by moisture easily. The one issue I've noticed with the design, which isn't really an issue at all, it's just like it is what it is that right down here in like the corners, here I'll see if I can pull over closer there, the little tiny dubia or like the medium size will try to shove their heads underneath. That's not really a big deal because if they can get under, they can get out. They're not gonna die. But yeah, that's just one thing. If like that bothers you for some reason, I guess I figure I'll tell you that that's gonna happen. This was annoying. This made me not happy because it looked like a nice clean design until that. Now there's all poop stuck in there. But this is a Dubia roach colony, and poop is poop, and it's gonna be everywhere. So these poops, as you can see, are stuck to the mesh. They're not actually like big enough to fall through, but you can see that there are some already that have fallen through. See that? And when they poop, their poop just kind of falls through on its own. And when you are cleaning it, you can take this out, take like your cardboard, whatever, egg crates out, and then whatever's left in here is fine. Shake this bin, like sift it, shake it back and forth, and the poops will fall in here, and it'll make it way easier to clean out. So not only do the poops fall in as they poop, but if there's any like accumulating somewhere, when you shake the bin around, they should fall through easy as well. It's pretty self-cleaning. Like, it's not 100% of poops, as you can see. It's definitely better than having to sift through the poop with your hands to get your roaches, which I've had to do for a couple of years now, and I hated it. So another thing that I do is I just kind of shove something in between the handles to offer a little bit of space off the ground so that it's not like directly touching, because you want the poops to fall through. So if there's something touching it, then it might not fall through as easily. So that's another thing I do. And I'm gonna go ahead now and add all of my Dubia Roaches and just show you, like, one, how many I have, and this is only half of my colony, so it's a lot. And then two, later on I'll show you what I feed them and what temperature I keep them at and things like that. This is just the cleaning aspect of breeding and keeping Dubia Roaches. So this is the colony with all but these guys in it. These are the ones that just weren't hanging on to some egg crates when I was putting them back in place. So here's the egg crates. These were literally clean a week ago and they already have poop all over them. It is what it is. That's what having a Dubia colony is all about. This is a fresh egg crate, just for reference, and these are like a week ago. So, yuck. But I put the food up here where there are no egg crates, and I also sometimes sprinkle smaller foods in here, but for the most part food is up here. And I'm gonna go ahead now and dump all of these little nasties right on top of all these egg crates so that they can go and hide. And in the process, all these like little left behind poops will also get dumped, hopefully through the mesh. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so it looks like a mess right now, and that's because all the cockroaches are freaking out, and there's been poop dumped on the top and all kinds of stuff. But in a few hours, with all their moving around and stuff, it'll look a lot better. And a lot of the poop that you're seeing is actually already fallen through. So let's see if I can lift this up with one hand. See, there's some poop down there. So a lot of the poop you're seeing is already through there. So while we are looking at these poopy egg crates, I might as well indicate which ones are male and female. So that right there, with the wings, that is a male. Yes, they have wings. No, they cannot fly. Don't be afraid of them flying away. And then a larger non-winged one right here, that's a female. So the females are bigger. They do not have wings. The males are a little bit smaller. They do have wings. Another thing to note is that this guy up here, the white one, he has just molted. And so that is why it is white. They molt a few times throughout their life as they're growing from nymphs. Nymphs are the itty bitty ones, all the way to full-grown adults. So don't be alarmed if you see a white one. That is completely normal, and it just means that it has molted and it is growing. There's another molted one too, right there. The molted ones will also eventually turn a darker color, just like the adult ones. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have 5 adult females to 1 adult male. However, I'm very bad at this, and I have allowed it to become like too massive, and that's part of the reason I was selling off my Dubia Roach colony. I'm keeping this container right here, and I'm selling off the rest. So this is about half, and I've sold off another chunk already, and I'm selling another half or another chunk this weekend. So hopefully getting rid of some of those. And then in order to help like keep the male ratio to female ratio good, I feed off the adult males to my bearded dragons, but it is just not fast enough. There's just so many. So there can be some fighting in the colony if there are too many males, and also you will have a situation of like the males frenzying when there's a female that is freshly molted. The males will like run around like crazy. I actually hate male Dubia Roaches because of how fast they are. They're literally so unpredictable. They are so fast, and they escape way easier than the females. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're like little psychopaths. I hate them. My fiance knows this, and he laughs at me when I say it, but I really do. I hate them. That's a male right there. It's a healthy male. His wings aren't all tore up or anything. Typically when you see like some fighting, the males will have torn wings or whatever. This species also cannibalizes, so if you don't feed them, they will eat each other. And even if you do feed them, they will eat like the dead bodies and stuff, so it's something to keep in mind. I'd also like to note that the small like little nymphs right here, they take a long time to grow up and reach adulthood. So if you are starting a colony from fresh, it will take 6 months or more to get it like really going. You have to be able to have ages from nymph all the way to adults, and then when the adults eventually like start breeding and whatnot, the nymphs have to be given the chance to grow up to adulthood so they can start breeding and having babies before you can even start feeding off the colony. So it's quite a lot of work, and this has taken me 2 years, I think, to get to the point where it is, where it's kind of overwhelming, but it's a good and a bad thing. I actually have had Dubia Roach with colonies before. Like when I got Franklin my bearded dragon in 2014, I got him with a Dubia Roach colony, and I didn't know how to take care of it, so I fed off all the adults like a dummy. So I had to start over, and yeah, it's taken some time to get like as big of a colony as this is now. I mean, there's a lot in here. They hide really well so you can't see, but there's tons here. Let me turn the flashlight on. So yeah, there's literally so many. People are probably like, ew, you're putting your bare hand in there? Yes, you get used to it, trust me. Yeah, look at that. There's a lot of them. So it's definitely something that takes some time to build up, but that's okay. So I think that that's all to say about breeding. Oh, aside from what breeding looks like, basically they connect their back ends. There's probably definitely more scientific than that, but I mean, for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but the female and male will connect their butt ends. The male like lifts his wings in a display. They connect their butt ends, and that is how they mate. And later on, the female will lay an egg sac, and that's where all the nymphs will come from. And they're tiny itty bitty little white things when they're born. At least I think. I haven't seen them like be born for a while because it's just so many. And they're nymphs everywhere, but they're even smaller than this when they're born. They're teeny tiny. But they're really cute. And yes, I just called them cute. I actually love my Dubia Roaches. Like, even though they're a hassle and they're also feeders, I think that they're just so cute. I love the little ones. Like, I'll just pick these guys up, no problem. Come here. Oh no, come back. Okay, cool. As soon as I say I'm gonna pick one of them up. Yeah, see? No problem. I'll just pick them up. I don't mind the little ones. I don't mind the, like, full-grown females either. I just hate the males because they move so fast and you can't tell where they're gonna go. They just go. And it's scary. So over here is a good example of, like, what a male that has been in a fight looks like. See his little, he got little torn wings down there. That is a problem with having too many males, and yeah, the colony has just grown so fast. Most of them are in good condition, like this guy over here, but some of them have a little bit of torn wings. Oh, one more thing. In order to breed them, in order for them to breed, you have to have a heater. I keep them at like 90 degrees on the floor space. They have an under tank heater. Like, their air space is not 90. I don't use like a ceramic heat emitter or a light bulb or anything like that, but they are given 90 degree floor space, and I find that they breed without any problems. Okay, here's another example. Do you see how crinkly his wings are? He had a difficult molt, so when he was becoming like a full-grown man roach, he had some wing problems. So he's not injured, he just has some molt problems, but he's fine. So yeah, you see things like that when you have a colony at all. I mean, little colony, big colony, molts sometimes don't turn out that well, and you also will sometimes just have cockroaches die. If you're having a lot die, then you're having a problem in the enclosure, but if you're having some die, then that's just completely natural. It's just a way of life. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, you absolutely have to have a heater if you want them to breed, unless you are living in a warm climate. But I find that a lot of people who live in warm climates that can't have Dubia roaches, like they're illegal in Florida, for example, and that is because they could be an invasive species because they thrive in humid, hot conditions. But I live in Indiana where it's cold, so they're not illegal here, and I can have my Dubia roach colony. Another thing you want to do is keep them in a dark place. I actually keep them in the closet, which I'll go show you right now because I'm going to put them back. So right now, because I have split the colony, this is like a third or a quarter of the colony. It's dirty egg crates, but the enclosure's clean, like there's not a lot of poop on the ground. I just didn't have fresh egg crates because they take so many of them, so they had to keep the dirty ones. But as you can see, there's a heater underneath here. It spans from over here all the way to over here, and when they're no longer here, they'll be gone soon. When they're no longer here, I will have this turned sideways and the entire bottom of this enclosure will be heated. So it's just a little horticulture heater. I can include the link that I got it from down on Amazon. It gets to like 85, 90 all on its own. It won't get hotter than that, so like you can't use it for certain species of animals if you wanted to, for example. It doesn't really heat up that much because it's just for like keeping plants warm, but it's enough to keep the cockroaches warm. And then I keep them on this shelf in the closet, and it's dark when the light isn't on and the door shuts, obviously, so it's good for them. So I have the flashlight on so you guys can see better because I was editing the clips today and realized that last time I showed you guys the closet it was really dark, so it's hard to see. So I'm going to show you again. So that's the heater right back there, And that is what I use to keep them warm. It's been a couple of weeks since I talked about the roaches on camera, so as you can see, all the poops and like the nasty browns, this thing's ready to be cleaned again. Ideally it should be done once every 1 to 2 weeks if a colony is this big, so it definitely is getting done tomorrow because that is nasty. But up here, I'm going to show you, that's some leftover food from yesterday. So they'll be fed a little bit less today because I didn't finish their food from yesterday, and you obviously don't want to leave a bunch of uneaten food in there for like a couple days because it'll go nasty bad. Most of the time roaches will finish eating. So I'm going to show you what they're eating tonight. As you can see, last night they had apple, they had broccoli, and carrots. So tonight they're getting, let's see, tonight they're getting broccoli over here, they're getting yellow bell pepper, and they're getting carrots. So we're gonna go feed that to them. It's gonna be kind of difficult to do with one hand. There's all my mealworms, who I also have to feed. I also feed them a mix of this. And then here's my superworms, who are barely, like, there's not a lot in there because they've been fed off, but that little pile over there, I'll give them some of this as well. So most of it's going to go to the roaches though. So I'm going to put it in there off camera because I can't do it with my camera in my hand. And then I'll show you all the food down there and them eating in a second. So there's some of the food in the front. Like I said, I didn't give them as much because I didn't finish last night. So they had a lot last night. And then I'm going to also sprinkle some into these over here. So usually I do it with my right hand. So, oh, there's actually an egg sac that female has. You see it right there? That's an egg sac, so she's laying eggs right now. So, like I said earlier with the breeding, so we're going to try and leave her be. I'm not going to put any more food over there. Don't want to stress her out. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to cover that back up. That just offers a little bit more darkness. I dropped a piece of food. Where did it go? Oh well, it's gone now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning about my Dubia roaches and how I clean them and how it was quite an effort to get to the point where I realized that this is a better way of caring for them. Like I said, I drilled a bunch of holes in plastic for like 2 hours and then realized it doesn't even work. So that was fun, but that's okay. It's all a learning experience and I'm glad to share it with you guys. So if you enjoyed, please hit the like button and let me know down below in the comments section. Also, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check the links below for merchandise, which by the way, Christmas merch is out and it's gorgeous and beautiful and I hope that you like it. There's also a link to a Patreon, a link to a donation link. There's also social media links for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Oh my god, there's so many. There's all kinds of links down there. Just go check them out. But that's all for this video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!